Hi everyone, welcome to part 3 of the Un-Enchanted rose soap, and it's now time to pour 2 loaves of soap. I've got my Eden Secret liner clips, silicone liner clips in there from I Dream of Soap, and I've got my soap butter all ready to go, and I've used up the last of my Daisy fragrance from Soap Suppliers. It's a beautiful fragrance, apparently exactly like the real thing. I think it's Marc Jacobs, isn't it, that does the Daisy perfume. And it doesn't accelerate, it actually soaps beautifully, and it doesn't discolour either, and that's why I thought it'd be a perfect option for this soap. I've left a little bit of a lip there. You'll see a gap on the silicone liner because when I put the rose buds on, I keep calling them rose buds, don't I? When I put the roses, the piped roses on the top, it might lift up it might make the batter rise a little, and I don't want to flood it over my silicone mould. Right, so we'll just clean that up a little bit. And I'm also just going to take a kebab stick, and I'm going to go, because when I tapped it I probably allowed some of the batter to splash up onto the side of the liner, and I want to make sure I haven't got a lip on there, and this will get rid of that. It will just make a perfect edge. It. Right, we'll be back. We're going to let it thicken up, and when it's thick enough to add all of those gorgeous roses to the top, that's exactly what we'll do. Alright, it is time to add our roses. So I've got my roses here in this container, and I'm just going to add them one by one. Hope they don't sink. Oh no, beautiful. I don't know whether to just put them, probably be better just putting them side by side like that, and hopefully we'll get 2 roses in each slice. Guess what you have to do is choose 2 that are very similar size. And see, so even though like the outside of the rose is a little bit untidy at the bottom, once you put them into your soap batter, They look okay. Hope I've got enough. I always say that, don't I? I'm a little worried. I don't know if I'm going to have enough. Is anybody watching Ozark on Netflix? I love that programme. You know, I don't find people who are trying to be funny, but Ozark is obviously a very serious programme, but it makes me laugh. Just the things they do. I actually don't think I've had enough, you know. So I need, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. That's 24 in each. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 24 I've got 24 left, so rather than spoil it, I'm just going to put them in as far along as they'll go, and then when I run out I'll just cut the end bits off and use them as samples. I have to say they do look pretty, you know, it's a lot more effort, but I do think they look prettier than just using the Wilton 1M nozzle to do the roses the way I did them previously in my, such as like in my Flirtatious soap, and then the lemon, luscious lemon that I did. Wow, I really should have made a lot more. And these ones are a little smaller. Actually, it's filled it up fairly nicely, hasn't it? Now I've got a little bit of soap butter left over here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some little I guess Hershey's Kisses, not, you know, obviously in cream coloured soap. Do some Hershey's Kisses in and around, but just very, very small ones, because I don't want them, I want the roses to stand proud of the soap, but it does need tidying up a little bit in between. So I'll get a piping bag and I'll put the perfect nozzle to do that. Okay, so I've got what I would call a medium circle nozzle. It's not tiny, but it is rather small, and I'm just going to pipe pearls all the way around the outside of the soap. and then just fill in the gaps. And if you've got any untidy bits, this will cover it up, but you don't want to spoil those beautiful roses sticking out. Okay, so we've got all of our roses lined up here. Now what I did with them, obviously I had them in the cellophane, a bit of cellophane on the bottom, a bit on the top, and they were all laid out, and I just put a cardboard box over the top of them and then weighed it down with some heavier boxes to try and keep them as flat as possible. I've just taken them out of the cellophane, and I've got just some soap base here without any fragrance or anything in it. And we're just going to take one and I'm using a paintbrush. I'm going to dip it in the soap and just paint the back. And I'm just going to use this one as my practice bar. And then place it on. Now it is seeping a bit around the outside, but we'll be able to scrape that off a bit later. I'm thinking just a dab of soap might not be enough, but let's have a try and see. We'll just plop some on there like that. I think it is actually enough, to be honest. Yeah, it's gonna work. And it's still actually seeped out around the outside, so that'll have to be tidied up later, so yet more work. But that basically is our beautiful finished bar of the Un-Enchanted Rose Soap. Un-Enchanted Rose Soap.